What's up, Internet? Dinosaur Neil here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
Ooh, today we've got a humdinger one for you.
Humdinger one. That's
Yep.
right. A blast from the past,
Yep.
which is more relevant now than ever.
Yes.
Except for when it was originally published.
Of course.
But right now, I don't know if you've been keeping up with Marvel's What If show.
I know of it.
We are making our way to the first appearance of the Marvel Zombie-verse. As we saw from the teasers,
Yes.
saw a raggedy-looking Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
Straight out of the pages of the Robert Kirkman special.
Yes.
So we thought, what better time than now to explore this decrepit delight,
Can't
Marvel
wait.
Zombies. Here we go. So Neil, Marvel Zombies hit the stands way back in the year of our Lord 2005.
Ooh, boy.
5-issue miniseries, and this was hot off of Kirkman's success on, you guessed it, Walking Dead.
Walking Dead.
Yes, this was 2 years after Walking Dead, so they paired him up with an artist that I never would have guessed would be associated with this type of drivel.
Yeah, right.
We got a classy guy, works with Ed Brubaker on these crime books.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Phillips does the artwork on this. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention these amazing covers brought to us by Arthur
Suydam?
Suydam?
Yeah.
It's right on brand for us to completely botch it. So
Yeah.
any and all of those could be correct.
I gotta say, that is what actually drew me to the books in the first place, is those awesome, covers. And even towards the back matter of all the books, they show you the original, old school covers next to his zombified.
Yeah.
Just top notch.
So Marvel Zombies sprang out of the pages of Ultimate Fantastic Four. Did you know that?
I did.
Oh.
I wonder what they were up to.
Do you think other people knew that?
No.
Good, because that's what I really wanted to drop a bomb there. But Mark Millar and Greg Land were doing a run on Ultimate Fantastic Four, and they touted it as a crossover, the first crossover to possibly the main Marvel Universe. Everybody was clamoring oh my God, they're doing it. They're doing it. This was issue 23, I think. And by the end of it, you realize it is not the Marvel Universe we all know and love. It is Earth 2149, which we later find out it was never addressed in the early pages.
Nope.
But that's what became the Marvel Zombies universe. And it was full of Marvel Zombies.
Who
Wouldn't
knew?
you know it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that, because there was the cover of the Ultimate Fantastic Four, Reed Richards, having his stretchy fingers out next to this Earth's Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I found it
just two stretchy reeds.
Yeah, just two stretchy reeds.
Having a good old stretch.
Touching fingers.
Yep. But that was a big old switcheroo, and that was the first taste of this zombie universe. And then in that next issue of this 3-issue arc, we get the whole story of this one ultimate superhero who looks a lot like Sentry.
Yeah.
Crash lands in this universe carrying a alien zombie virus, infecting the rest of the heroes, and within 24 hours, the entire world is overtaken by them.
Is it ever? And when you piggyback it on the top of people who can fly, or super speed, this and that, all these superheroes catching the zombie virus.
Oh
boy, does it spread.
Quicksilver, Thor, Hulk, you're done.
Nope.
You're done. So right off the bat, you're like, oh, okay, wow, stakes are high here.
Yeah.
So high that it seems like it's almost over before it begins.
Pretty much, yes.
And over the course of Ultimate Fantastic Four, they have a little adventure. The zombie Fantastic Four join the Ultimate Universe. They're captured and held in quarantine. And then we take a little break, and Marvel Zombies picks up right there where it left off.
Yes.
And we get kind of a recap of what we learned before, and then it just goes into, the next couple days in this just horrific universe where it's so fucked. I mean, there's almost no point in it altogether.
Not really, no.
Because you're barely following any good characters.
No,
They're all zombified heroes who are completely devoid of all of their humanity and personality, I would say.
Yeah.
That is one complaint from me on this, where all of the heroes are like, they're just interchangeable, and none of them talk or act like they normally would.
Nope. They're all the same. You get your big beats, like Hank Pym still hates Janet for some reason.
He does give her a big ol' swat. Abusive husband
He's
swat.
still a piece of shit.
Yep.
So you get like those beats. Peter Parker's still kind of quippy, but outside of that, they're all like, "Oh, I hate this. I'm gonna eat you still." But you were talking about steaks, and boy, are they hungry for steaks. Human steaks.
Very good transition.
Thanks. But
I'm very proud of you for not forgetting that. I imagine you heard it, you were waiting for the moment, and then it was ready.
Oh, it wasn't
Pulled it out of the
ever.
holster.
But there are also real steaks.
And like To Kill a Vampire.
Well, there is a little bit of that going on in these, but you don't get attached to any characters is kind of what I'm getting at. Like, when you say it's fucked, it's absolutely fucked. Like, we catch up in the first issue with Magneto. He's, like, trying to run away. He's holding them off the best he can.
One of the only surviving, I say humans, but non-zombified people.
Right. And he gets ripped in half.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, nearly instantly. And you root for him because you're not exactly what you're gonna jump into.
Yeah. Who am I supposed to like in this?
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah. I don't even like Magneto that much, to be honest.
Not really. But they all get torn to shreds or eaten and turned into zombies.
Yes. And this is a book where, I mean, all that's in the first issue. So you're like, okay, where does it go from here? Well, let me tell you.
Oh boy.
Silver Surfer shows up.
Does he ever?
And they decide they're gonna try to eat him. And they chase him down. They have a bit of a spar.
Yep.
And they do. They gobble him up, and now they have the power cosmic.
Yeah, they sure do. But guess what? It's not over.
No.
Oh, boy.
It's only just begun.
It sure has. The man who eats planets, Galactus, he shows right up. He's looking for his herald.
That's
guess
right.
What? They ate him.
Ate him.
He's there to eat Earth, and they're like, well,
let's eat him.
Let's eat him.
He's big.
This was a weird thing, too, where it's like, the zombies aren't like your typical, like zombies. They're, like, Tony Stark is still brilliant.
Yep.
Like, because they all go and, like, build this ultimate nullifier, essentially. Bigger than Reed Richards ever did.
Oh my god, yeah. Really flexing.
Yeah, exactly.
A zombie flex on this one.
Exactly. And,
because they don't have Stretchy Reed to wave it around his face. Old legless Tony's not gonna fly it up there. He just gets swatted out of the sky.
Exactly. But they shoot him down and eat him, and guess what? Now they all have Galactus powers. I guess that's how it works.
Yep. You just eat a Galactus, and then you got Galactus powers.
And I love it.
It just keeps, like, ramping up.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, what are they going to do now? And it's like, oh, well, now they have this.
Exactly. And it's funny because after they eat Galactus, they also get Galactus outfits when they charge onto the alien planet at the end. There's this spread, and they're all like, oh, I'm gonna eat you, and they're all wearing purple, like, robes.
Tunics and skirts. Yeah. So, a couple things to unpack there.
Yes.
I don't know if I made as much of a mental note as you did around steaks, but let me see if I can back up. You mentioned that they're not shambling traditional zombies.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
They have it so, like, if you don't feed... Like, this comes into later issues, I guess, but they kind of...
They get more clear-headed,
They get clear-headed after they eat. So, like...
It's like a Snickers commercial
exactly,
put into action.
Exactly. Like, Bruce Banner hulks out when he's hungry and wants to eat things and then turns into Bruce Banner again when he's not.
Full of guts that are just
after
like, bursting out of his stomach.
Like, yeah, he's just disgusting. I honestly thought it was it was kind of funny. My initial read of it, like back in 2006 or whatever, I thought it was kind of funny. Like, Spider-Man's still quipping, he's like, oh, I broke my leg, how am I gonna go get him, and shit like that.
Yeah.
But I also think it's kind of a dumb cop-out.
Yeah. I had a problem with their dialogue, where they just all talk like normal people, for the most part. And they would be more threatening, and it would feel more zombie-like if they weren't so clear-headed about it. But this book is following the zombies, so if they're not talking, then what is there? Because it's certainly not about any survivors.
No, absolutely
So
not.
you kind of need it to have any semblance of a story.
Yeah.
By the end of it, you can have a lot of problems with this, but I think you just chalk it up as like, it was just a dumb, fun exercise.
Yeah.
And if you look for anything more than that, you are going to be sorely disappointed.
Absolutely.
But if you just read it as like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
We say there's no human characters. There are a couple.
Yeah, there are pockets of resistance or humanity.
Yep, yeah. One of them being Black Panther, who Hank Pym has locked away as like just a midnight snack that he occasionally shambles over, feeds on him, and then leaves him alive for later. Mm-hmm. And Black Panther ends up being rescued by Magneto's acolytes that were hiding out on Asteroid M, and they kind of try their best to restart humanity in the second book.
Yeah. Yep. That's also kind of led by Forge. Forge is giving people all these mechanical limbs. He's like, I've got a thing or two to know about these bad boys. So he's giving like
Forge has just been waiting for this moment.
Yeah. I can't wait to give all these people legs and arms and stuff. Pretty much about them trying to regain all that humanity back and find a place for them to live, because all these like super zombies that have Galactus powers left.
Yeah.
Like, I think the beginning of that second volume, they're like chewing on Ego the Living Planet and things like that.
And there's a panel where they're all just like floating in space, just hanging out, and they're like, well, I guess we did it. We reached the end of the universe.
Yeah,
we've eaten everything. What?
Exactly!
They've literally eaten the universe.
They sure have. And in record time.
And then they're like, back to Earth then? All right,
sure.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I think there's a line in the second volume too. It's like, why would they come back to Earth? They've eaten everybody already. But apparently it's because they need to get some of Reed Richards' fancy technology so they can go dimension hopping and eat abroad.
Abroad?
A few of them too.
I mean, it's just so startlingly out of character for all of these people.
Yes, very much so.
They are so devoid of their humanity that they're just like looking in every nook and cranny and seeing how they can eat every single person in the world.
Right, and then Peter Parker will be like, I ate Aunt May and my wife, I'm so sad. And then Luke Cage tells him to shut up and then eat some more, and he's like, okay.
Yeah. Peter, we can eat Aunt May's in every universe. Well.
He's like tucking in a bib and stuff, It's, very out of character for literally everybody.
Alright, so after those two volumes, it didn't stop there.
No, it did not.
It went on to a myriad of spin-offs and crossovers.
Yes.
There's Marvel Zombies 1 through 5. Mm-hmm. There's The Return. There's another appearance in Ultimate Fantastic Four. They pop up in Secret Wars.
Oh boy.
They have a run in Black Panther. There's even an Army of Darkness crossover.
Yes,
where Ash gets to that dimension and ends up fighting them.
Awesome.
So Ash is part of Marvel canon now.
Why not?
Love it.
Yeah.
So you recently reread a handful of these. I read a ton of them when they came out, but I did not have time to do the last minute cramming that you had here.
Yeah, so
fill me in on any highlights from some of those other.
So you get to that third volume, and it's more about the human characters, which is kind of a nice relief. It's not all about them just chasing things and eating stuff. It's about people trying to survive. This is where it's kind of awesome that you get all these weird secondary and tertiary characters.
Because they've literally killed everyone in the first book.
So the third volume is all about Machine Man. And it's just awesome. Mm-hmm. So we have Machine Man on like a mission to go find some human's blood. It happens to be like the Kingpin's wife. For some reason, the Kingpin of New York, zombied, keeps his wife as a human. And feeds her cat food. And has been for years. It's just ridiculous. So Machine Man is going to track down to find human blood to, like, find a cure. Mm-hmm. And the person, like, heading up the cure is, like, all people, the living vampire, Michael Morbius.
He needs plasma.
Yeah. And, like, so that's so cool. You get to see these weird characters and weird roles. And
doesn't Machine Man just annihilate the zombies across the countryside as he goes? He
sure does. He just cuts a swath through everybody. Like, he's killing speedsters, he's killing Ghost Rider, he's blowing everyone's head off with a big gun. Like, it's awesome.
And then Volume 4 of this was centered on, like, the Marvel monsters, right? So there's, like, Man-Thing, Morbius, Damien Helmstrom.
Yep, Helmstrom's in that. And, like... Dormammu's in it, yeah. But that one
The zombie? Like, is it just the Marvel... the zombie?
Yeah, but he's carrying around Deadpool's severed head. Like the whole,
sorry about that.
There is a... Sorry for the writer of this, but there is a 2-page spread where it's only Deadpool talking, and I just skipped all of it. Because anything he says doesn't matter. Nope. It's not funny, and it's just terrible. So I just skipped through it all.
We were well past Deadpool at this stage, and this came out like 15 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. There are points in this 4th volume that are really cool. Like, you get the monsters. There's a werewolf guy, too.
Oh, yeah, Werewolf by Night.
Yep. Jack, or whatever his name is. He's
Jack Werewolf.
Yeah. It gets a little grating because, like, Dormammu's in it, the witch from Man-Thing in it, and Hellstrom's in it, and they all speak literal gibberish through a lot of it, like casting spells and stuff, and you're just like, this is cool, but none of this makes any sense to me.
In the 3 and 4, actually anything after Volume 2 was no longer written by Kirkman, and Phillips was no longer doing the art.
No.
And then there was also, like, kind of a prequel called Dead Days that the two of those guys did together. It's just a one-shot, which is worth checking out. It gives a little bit more information around, like, Magneto's resistance and all that in the early days. But overall, like, what a... took the world by storm.
It did at the time, yeah.
And then I feel like it was very quickly forgotten about.
Yes, very much so.
And wiped clean after Secret Wars.
I think it's just because of what we touched on earlier, is like, there's not a lot you can do with it. No. It honestly should have been Kirkman's 2 issues and then just done.
Or 2 trades.
2 trades,
just a 2 issue.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, you could end it there, too. Not a whole lot more is gained.
Just them first 2 volumes is probably all you would have needed, but it was zombie fever back in the day.
It was. And at this point, we are completely zombied out. Like, no one even gives a shit about Walking Dead anymore.
No. I think it's still running. Is it still running?
The show?
Who knows?
Your guess is as good as mine. I know the comic ended, but after that, who knows? It was fun while it lasted.
It was.
And it was such like a flash in the pan hit that it just, everyone went in on that zombie mania, and we got some fun stuff out of it.
Yeah. Coming back around, I think this lends itself very well to the What If series going on in Disney Plus right now. So hopefully they do actually pick up on those threads and actually do this little, like, one-shot thing with zombies.
Absolutely. It's like a fun little pocket universe to explore.
Yeah.
You don't need any more than that.
No.
I hope to God they don't bring in Deadpool. But just, like, to be able to pop in, see this world just overrun by zombies, and then leave in a half hour.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah. Keep it animated. Keep all them blood and guts just so heavy. It's such a violent book.
Oh, it is. That's... a good point. There are moments of just shocking carnage in this where you're like, how did Marvel let this go?
Yeah! Because it wasn't a Max line or anything like that.
No, this was like, I mean, it wasn't in all ages, but it wasn't like, there was no warning on it.
No! And it's disgusting in some
Did you have
spots.
any standout moments, any favorite moments over the course of this? I got one, if I may.
Go for it.
After Hank Pym gives a rousing display of spousal abuse to the Wasp.
As he does.
He grows into Giant Man, grabs her, and bites her head off. And then spits it out.
Yep.
And this predates a very similar thing happening in Ultimatum. The critically acclaimed Ultimatum from Jeff Loeb.
Oh, God.
Where Hank Pym gets angry because the Blob eats his wife.
Yeah.
And then he snatches up the Blob, bites his head off, and
just
spits it out.
Biting
so Hank Pym just got a big old boner for biting off heads.
Decapitation. Yeah.
Via mouth.
Yeah. There's a point where Iron Man gets knocked to the ground and someone's like, punches through his chest and you can see all this blood coming up through the eye sockets in his mask and stuff. Like, that's just,
Yep.
Pretty gross stuff going on.
A moment where Wolverine punches Juggernaut through the face hole into his mouth and then uses his power cosmic to just blow the top of his head off, and his helmet goes flying off like a manhole cover.
Another Wolverine one that actually I think I liked even more is when he's like a decrepit zombie at this point, and he tries to slash someone with his claws, but his skin doesn't hold together, and it just shreds. It rips all of the claws and bones out of his arm, and it's like, oh my god!
His skin flap just...
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
It's just disgusting.
There's some great moments.
Yes,
and as
there
we
are.
said, the Hulk transforming back to Bruce Banner, but having all the pre-digested food in his belly, so it just like bursts out of his stomach.
Oh god!
Who the fuck allowed this to happen,
I don't
Marvel?
know.
Come on.
Thank you, though, I guess.
What a ride, though. Yeah. Have you read Marvel Zombies way back in the day? Have you read it recently in preparation for their appearance on What If?
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if you want this, I think we're going to be disappointed. Because I don't think they're going to push it that hard.
I don't think so.
But I am intrigued.
We've
I
seen
wanna
what
see
they did
they're
in
gonna
Invincible, but
Yeah.
this is also on Disney+. Plus.
Exactly.
So don't hold your breath.
Well, until next time, I have been Ghost Hunter Dave.
And I've been Dinosaur Neil.
And this has been IMPERIUS REX.
See you next time.
Goodbye.